Hello again, friend. It looks as though you're no worse for wear after your stay in Fort Draken. It's located just off the Market District in the northern alley past the Old Noble Tavern. I'll sketch out the code which will let you pass the lock wheel. Inside you can take your pick of whatever equipment remains. It is the stockpile the Wardens have kept for centuries for the defense of Denerim. We went through our joining together, more years ago than I like to remember. He was exactly the same back then, tough as stone and just as grizzled. I think he understood sooner than the rest of us how ugly a choice it is to let the few be sacrificed to protect the many. Always left himself a soft spot for his recruits, though. Only where he ever let himself down. Well, I'd be happy to tell you what I know, but it seems to me that you've picked the important parts up yourself. Be firm in your beliefs, protect people from their own ignorance, and be as loyal as you can to your brothers, even knowing you'll share their deaths. It's tough to say. Only the fortress in Weishaupt has every record. But there are certainly a few dozen or hundreds in every nation in Thedas. The Anderfells are home to over 1,000. It's almost like the Archdemon chose Ferelden deliberately, knowing how unguarded it is. Once only, and I'd rather not go again. It's far, lass, and very foreign. The Wardens there, they fight Darkspawn like you and me, but they're shaped by the winters there in the forest. They're a cold group and don't care like they should about the rest of the world. Their king is weak, and many Anders look to the Wardens to rule. I hate to say this, but some of them seem to want it that way. It was near 1,200 years ago, and no one knows for sure, except that it began with a group of Anders soldiers. Apparently, they defected from their king's army, vowing that fighting the Blight was more important, and traveled all the way to Tevinter themselves. They were the first ones to track down the Archdemon Dumat, and the ones to slay him, although none survived the battle. But they had picked up followers by then, and it was they who formally founded the Order, and were recognized by Thedas. Archdemons don't awaken on their own, you know. It takes the Darkspawn, tunneling and tunneling, searching for centuries to find one. And with no one to lead them, it must be sheer chance, or maybe instinct, which leads them. What's surprising isn't that it takes so long between blights. What's surprising is that they succeed at all. But I imagine the old gods call to them, and it's that voice in the darkness which drives them through so many generations. The important thing to remember is, none of that matters. When you're facing Darkspawn, all you need to know is to stop them at all costs. Hello again, friend. It looks as though you're no worse for wear after your stay in Fort Draken. When I'm well enough, I'm going to continue my journey toward Ostagar. Hopefully I'll be able to trace the heart of the Blight and where the Archdemon itself abides. If we want to defeat this Archdemon, we need to know where it is and how soon it might strike. If there were more of us, I would agree. But as it is, I don't think we can deprive all the armies you've gathered of a commander. Good luck to you, then. We will have to talk again when the Landsmeet is more settled.
Ah, there you are. I was about to send out a search party. I've been hearing of a great commotion in the alienage. What exactly happened there? Make her forgive me. I should be appalled that such a thing could exist here. But I'm overjoyed you can implicate Loghain. We must end the civil war quickly. What the Blight does not corrupt in this land, politics surely will. The last of our allies have arrived in the city. We cannot delay any longer. I will call for the Landsmeet to convene. Bring Alistair and join me at the palace as soon as you are ready, Warden.
I hope Eamon doesn't expect me to give a speech. Maker, he probably does, doesn't he? Oh.
Yes.
Welcome, welcome. We sell only the strongest dwarven steel, folded over 100 times in the forges of Orzammar. In times like these, you... Wait, Ogren, is that you?
You messed up your sales pitch, Gorham. You were just getting to the good part, too. See, this is why warriors make bad merchants. Oh, we go way back. He threw me out of the palace at least a dozen times for calling Endrin a nuglicker.
What are you doing here?
I'm fighting. It's what warriors do. But don't let me distract you from hawking your junk.
You're fighting? What army would have you?
The Grey Wardens needed someone with my skills to handle this blight.
Huh. And I've got a tower in Orzammar to sell you. Speaking of which, I have dwarven steel for sale. Every piece comes with a stamp of assurance from my wife's father, the best smith in Denerim.
I shall do it. It is begun. Very well. As you say, I shall do it.
Oh, this shield. It's Duncan's, isn't it? That's his crest. Thank you. Truly, I had no idea his shield wasn't with him. This is perfect. I don't know how else to express my gratitude. This means a great deal to me. I can't believe you remembered it at all. I'll treasure this. Thank you.
Have you heard the news about Howe?
Everyone in the city has. Ryland must be pleased.
That half-blood is as cold as the mountains. Did they not serve together in the war?
Oh, I can hardly speak ill of the sense or conscience of any man simply for wishing Rendon Howe dead. You've met him. The man made vipers seem personable.
Well, I didn't say I was shedding any tears over his passing. He never was any friend of mine.
Whoever you are, Wait. I know you. My son described you in great detail. He tells me that I owe you his life. when I saw my poor boy's legs. I only wish Howe still lived that I might tear him apart myself. I would bring troops against his son. But Oswin tells me Thomas had no part in his father's depravity. Is there anything you would ask as a reward for saving Oswin? Thank you again. Know that I will stand behind you at the Landsmeet with all the support I can muster. In fact, I am taking my supper today with Ban Reginalda of the White River Benorn. I'll speak with her about this at once.
Have you heard the news about Howe?
Everyone in the city has. Was that your daughter?
You'll have to excuse me. I'm engaged at present.
May I help you? This is Ermenric's. Explain yourself. My brother would no more part with this ring than with his head. I haven't heard from him in months. Where is he? What's happened? A dungeon? What? No. I will go to him at once. Someone will answer for this. Take this with my thanks. It has been in my family since the War of Crowns, crafted for us by the Circle of Magi. An heirloom is a small thing compared to my brother's life. I will have to speak with the Grand Cleric about this, and soon, I think.
You'll have to excuse me. I'm engaged at present.
What can I get you, stranger? What can I get you, stranger?
The captain sends his regards.
And never to rule over him.
Ah, Warden, we finally meet. I know why you're here. Talran sent you. My own son wants me dead. And I suppose I should be proud that I bred in him such ambition. He is an ambitious child, hungry for the guild to be the way it was in his grandfather's day, a violent band bolstered by secret funding from the nobility. He disagrees with my belief that we can make our way without such backroom dealing. We can, instead, work with honor and integrity. I appreciate you saying that, Warden. It's good to know that my beliefs are shared by someone of your station. I have wrestled with my own emotions about my son for some time, in fear that I may have to turn a blade on him myself. But I cannot bring myself to do it. Kill my own son, even if it's what's best for my men. I ache even discussing this, but Talran has killed his opponents and bullied my men. It has to stop. Challenge him to a duel and defeat him. Return to one of our posts, and I will reward you. As much as I appreciate your help, I cannot see you after the deed is done. Despite everything, you will still be the one who killed my son. Last I heard, he was headed toward Lothering. You should find him there. Come, men! Evil thoughts make me thirsty for ale.
Blessed are the peacekeepers.
The Mages Collective thanks you. Make us smile upon you.
So, you and Branka were really married?
Tell you what, boy. You ever been married?
Of course not. I was raised in the Chantry.
Think the hardest stone you can find. Marriage is for suckers.
So, no pitter-patter of little Ogren feet running around the home cave, I take it?
All I ever got out of that moss liquor was a headache, a deaf ear, a scratched up back, and that rash it took 3 different ointments to get rid of.
Wow. She gave up on you, did she? And here you are, a keeper, too. The stories we hear down here about the crows, they're not true, are they? They all sound a little far-fetched.
I cannot say. What have you heard? In Antiva, we hear that Ferelden men cannot sleep without a dog in their bed. Is that true?
A dog? No, of course not. We value our dogs. It's part of our history.
Oh, perhaps it was simply a reference to your Ferelden women, then.
Well, now that you mention it...
But those stories you heard? All true.
Really? Even the ones that talk about how you all, you know, get paid to...
Especially those ones.
Wow, I am totally in the wrong order.
So, Antiva, wonderful place, full of Antivans.
Ogren, if you want to bed me, you have only to ask.
What? Draw your weapon and say that again.
I jest, my foul-smelling friend. You are only slightly less attractive to me than a slime-filled pool of swamp water.
Better be.
You have my oath.
Bloody Antivans.
You never did answer my question about that filth you so enjoy.
That's right, I didn't.
How is it that you never seem to run out? Are you purchasing it somewhere?
Nobody sells the good stuff.
Then are you making it? I don't see a still at the camp. And you aren't walking around with a keg, so unless you're... Oh, no.
What? Where's that perverted elven mind of yours gone?
That would explain the smell. Suddenly, I'm not so interested in trying a sample.
I would have thought saving the surface would have involved less walking.
Little legs getting tired?
I thought these people had animals, horses and such.
In Orlais, perhaps, but not here. If you like, I could hoist you up on my back.
Hey now, don't start with the...
Yes, climb up, and I'll cart you around like a child. Marvelous fun.
You knife-eared pipe cleaner. You couldn't carry me on your best day.
Perhaps if you left behind the spirit, sold the weapons, and lost about 2 feet of beard.
I give up. Just keep walking.
I've been thinking about those ink drawings. What do you call them? Tattoos? Are you still willing to do one?
Oh, you decided to take the plunge, have you? What is a little pain, am I right?
I'm not worried about that. I think they look interesting. Though, I'd want mine smaller. When can you do it?
Not so fast, my friend. There is an entire ritual to how this is done, do you not know? First, I need to bathe you in a mixture of olives and rose water.
You need to bathe me? That seems odd.
No, not at all. It needs to be worked into your skin, preparing it to receive the ink. The massage is quite pleasurable. Do not worry. You are in good hands.
The massage? You're having me on, aren't you?
I might be. I might not be. Shall I describe the rest of the ritual to you?
No. On second thoughts, I'll just pass.
Excellent choice.
What? You're drunk, aren't you?
Hey, was that a question? Didn't sound like a question.
How in the Maker's name do you manage to be constantly drunk? Are we even carrying that much alcohol with us?
Jealous, huh?
A little, yes. Why can't I be drunk all the time? I never get to be drunk.
You know, if you drank more wine, you'd whine much less.
So, that game you were playing in camp, what was that?
Diamondback. You never played Diamondback, have you?
That's Diamondback? I've heard of it. I thought it was a card game played by dwarven
Go on, say it. Prostitutes. It's not true, of course.
It's not?
Of course not. A noble hunter never charges money. Not if she wants to see him again, that is. Never saw one turn down a gift, though.
What does that have to do with card games?
Even a noble hunter can get bored. Tell you what, don't ever bet your clothes. They'll strip you clean and leave you naked in the street. Trust me.
I'll take your word on it.
You know what would do you some good?
A pair of nose plugs?
Go out, find a girl. Doesn't matter who, as long as there's no pants involved.
What makes you think I haven't?
I can smell purity a mile away. It's a talent.
That proves to be useful, I'm sure.
Not that often, it turns out. Be much better if I could smell cheese.
You have my deepest condolences.
Yep, so do you.
So is it very strange for you, my friend, living in the world of the tall?
Here I thought I was living in the world of the nosy and the stupid.
It just occurred to me. Chairs are too high, tables are out of reach. Using the toilet facilities alone must be a lesson in humility.
I'm not bloody 2 feet tall, you swishy nuglicker.
And then the light. After all that gloom of Orzammar and the deep roads, it's a wonder you don't wander about squinting in pain.
It is bright, I'll give you that.
And oh, not to have a roof over your head. You must constantly fear that you'll fall up into that vast, endlessly open sky. One day you live within the surety of a mountain, and then gone. Nothing but vacuum. Nothing to stop you from being sucked up into the void. Nothing to...
Stop! One more word, and I chop you down where you stand.
You are a brave, brave little soldier, my friend.
So, why would the crows send you, Zevran?
Is there some reason why they should not?
Plenty of reasons. Starting with the fact that you weren't exactly the best they had, were you?
Slander and lies. For shame, Alistair.
I'm not an idiot. Well, not most of the time. You're no raw recruit, but I've seen you fight. You're no master of combat by any means.
Assuming that I intended a fair fight, that would indeed be a problem.
But the crows must have master assassins the way you describe them. Men with years and years of experience. Why not send them?
Why not indeed? It is a mystery for the ages.
Oh, I get it. You're not going to tell me.
Morrigan said you were sharp. No liar, she.
As a crow, you were an assassin in Antiva, right? Professionally?
Technically speaking, I still am. Somewhat between jobs, as it turns out.
So how much did you charge to, you know, kill someone? Was it very expensive? Did it depend on who they were?
Such curiosity. Are you thinking of having someone murdered, my friend Alistair? Or are you considering a career change?
No, neither. It just seems odd to me that you could make a living doing that. Or that you would need an entire guild just to handle so many... jobs.
Ah, assassination in Antiva is a tradition. It is more efficient than an election, as we say. Politics and death go together like kisses and lovemaking. It costs a great deal depending on how experienced the crow is and how difficult the target is to kill. You, I would charge perhaps 5,000 Andries for you.
5,000 Andries? Is that a lot?
Not really, no.
Yep. A lot of tension around here.
You think so? Do you?
Know what I do to relieve tension?
I hesitate to wonder.
I polish the old weapon.
Really?
Yep. Give it a good shine with a dry rag, then with a little grease.
That's disgusting.
You're telling me you never gave your blade the old spit shine?
I think that's private.
Really? Sodding chantry and its rules. I like to do it right out in the open.
Where people can see you?
Yep.
Wait, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Never mind.
Hey, Elf. You're all right.
Am I?
I was thinking that you're just all right.
Drunk again, Ogren?
Drunk again, Ogren? You sound like my father. He was all, "You're drunk. Stop wetting on the table."
How dare he?
At least my mom had the good sense to hide the booze from him, so, she could drink where he couldn't see her.
That's heartwarming.
Hey, buddy, let's not go crazy or anything. Keep your pants where I can see them. I just don't understand you elves. Not one bit.
Oh? Where is your comprehension lacking, my friend?
These humans, they turn you all into slaves. What do they do now? They destroy your homeland. Twice.
What is your point, dwarf?
Well, I just don't understand. Why don't you just kill them all?
There are a great many more humans than elves, if you haven't noticed.
So? There's 100 humans for every dwarf, too, but you don't see us bending over and getting our pipes clean, do you?
That's big talk for a man who lives in a tunnel.
All I know is the dwarves would never stand for it. You'd think you elves would have learned to duck.
That must be it. Exactly. I think I have a joke for you, my fine dwarven friend.
Just don't expect me to laugh.
So, a human, an elf, and a dwarf are walking down a trail beside a stream, and they stop to take a piss.
All right, things are looking up. Continue.
After, the human takes out some soap and begins washing his hands. "We humans have learned how to be clean and hygienic," he says to the others. The elf begins picking some leaves off the trees and wipes his hands with them. We elves do as tradition has taught us and use what nature has provided. The dwarf, meanwhile, has pulled up his trousers and is already on his way down the trail. "And our ancestors," he calls back, "taught us dwarves not to piss on our hands."
Shows what you know about dwarves.
Still with these stern glances, Alistair?
You didn't answer my question about why the crows wouldn't send their best man.
So for that, I must suffer all these fearsome glares? Oh, you are cruel to subject me to such torture.
If you aren't telling me, there must be a reason.
If you must know, the masters do not often take contracts outside Antiva, and I made the best bid.
Best bid?
We agreed to pay the guild a portion of whatever the contract offers. The one who agrees to pay the most gets the contract, so long as the guild deems them worthy.
And they thought you were worthy?
Against a pair of Grey Warden recruits. Apparently so.
Were there many who wanted the contract?
None. You are still Grey Wardens, after all. And even in Antiva, killing members of your order is considered impolitic. It made the guild's decision considerably easier, I imagine.
Well, that's comforting. Somehow.
All right, I guess you aren't all that bad.
You just decided that, did you?
Well, I've watched you fight. You could be worse, I guess.
From you, that's practically a proposal of marriage.
Don't get excited or nothing. You're not what I'm looking for in a wife.
Considering what happened to your last wife, I'll count myself as fortunate.